and we're going to discuss a few things about various scenarios. We got 3 scenarios in the assessment task, and going to find out possibly the cues, the emotional cues that we need to describe, and also the ways or the responses that we can provide, and as well as discuss about what would happen if the emotional state of the worker was not assessed or addressed. Okay, so let's take a look at the first scenario there. Uh, we've got a team of 20 employees, and we are part of this team. So one of our co-workers seems to be very down, is feeling down, and okay, let's talk about the emotional cues first. So Melanie, what do you think? What could be the emotional cues of our coworker?
Um, Pavel, can I read what I write, what I have notes? It
Yeah, yeah.
just, yeah, yeah. You said
Okay.
there is a wrong answer. Is this based on my experience, personal experience in my home, in my work?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My emotional states of coworkers and ability to assess an emotional cues in a first scenario. Actually, when in my home, when I talk to my manager, I will say what I observe. My emotional cues is being open-minded, optimism to understand. In my personal experience in my home, in my coworker, at first I will be quiet at peace to observe her because in first place I'm not used to his behavior like that. Uh, I will talk to her during our break time, and I will say that I am not used to seeing you feeling down, and I'm here to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give her the time to express her emotions because it's normal in our workplace. It happens. Our personal problems happen in unintentional emotional expressions. I will say to her it affects the workplace if she feels lazy at work, because if you have to ask him something that you need, you will be shy to ask because he or she is feeling down.
Mm.
I will say to her to be in control and detach yourself from the situation in you are in a workplace and set aside your emotions because in a professional way, work is work. We're here to work as a team, and also I also sympathize to her emotions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Melanie. Thank you for your input. Now,
And it's just only for my personal experience. Yeah.
okay, good, good that you covered this personal experience and
Yeah.
also reflected this on the scenario that we have here. Uh, I'd like to ask for some feedback from other students about this. So, Melanie, you talked about the emotional cues. Were these emotional cues related to the scenario or more or less to the work experience that you had?
At, to the work experience.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so can someone in the classroom just try to highlight some of the emotional cues that as opposed to Melanie's experience would then fit into the scenario here?
I'll share mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course, emotional cues in this scenario, okay, by showing some indifference or disengaged, by becoming very quiet and distracted when she used to be attentive and sociable. So, if ever as a manager, it is important to oversee one's work and well being. Part of it is motivating your employee. So, what I would do in this situation, or the approach that I'm going to do, is try to set up a close meeting or conversation with her, but bear in mind that you must be empathetic and compassionate. with a kind and sincere tone of voice, you can simply ask if there's anything that is bothering her, or she needs anything, because she seems distracted. I can talk to her about her personal issues, but of course, I need to know my limitations or boundaries. The
Mhm.
approach still depends on the employee. If she is not comfortable talking about her personal work or personal or work issues, you can just make her feel that you are there for her anytime by making
Mhm.
yourself available and offering also what you can offer. For example, if she needs time off from work or whatever it is you have that you can offer, but of course you need to listen first and suggest after. In this kind of situation, if it's properly not assessed or addressed, this would lead to the employee's demotivation, unproductiveness, miscommunication, and even resignation.
Okay, well, that's the whole topic is covered. Thank you for that, Sophia.
You're welcome.
Um, okay, does anyone else would like to say anything about this? What Sophia just said, or add something to it?
I will share mine, Mr.
Hmm.
Chair. Okay. On the scenario one, the emotional cues that the coworker is showing is the facial expression and body language, which is being quiet and distracted.
Hmm. Hmm.
From being from being very social, very talkative, and contributed a lot. If
Hmm.
I am her manager and I notice these emotional cues from her, I will be alarmed and concerned, and I will know straight away that something is not quite right with her. So to address this issue, I would arrange a safe time and place and approach her politely if I can talk to her in private. From there, I will tell her in a proper way that I notice her quietness and distraction, which unlikely of her to do. I will use this opportunity to ask if there are any factors or problems personally or about work that leads her to act that way. And if
Hmm.
she is happy to share something about it, I will listen attentively because sometimes people that is going through something difficult situations, all they want is someone that will listen to them.
Hmm.
You don't need to say something because listening is more than enough to them.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
will also acknowledge her feelings and I will show empathy for her to feel that she's not alone dealing her problems.
Mm.
May it be personal or work related problems. And more importantly, I will be happy to offer her solutions to the best I can.
Hmm. Good.
In
Thank you,
another
Bian.
way,
Yeah. Hmm.
if I am manager and I notice that my coworker that is very social, very talkative and contributed a lot becomes quiet and distracted and I didn't do something about it, it may lead to more serious situations or problems. I will just discuss a few.
Hmm. Hmm.
One, the coworker's ability to do the job properly and her making might be affected. Two, her relationship and interactions towards the other coworkers, managers, or even clients become less and not so good. And lastly, it might affect on her social and mental health in which she will feel alone and hopeless that can lead to anxiety, depression, and would lead her to give up and leave the job.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Bian. All right. Fantastic. Totally agree with all of you guys. Um, so my question is, Sophia and Bian, if you were a coworker, not a manager, but just a coworker, like working in the team, would you act the same way as the manager, or would you have less options in order to deal with this situation?
Yes, I think so, because the approach that I actually mentioned earlier are approaches that's very flexible, regardless or a manager or not.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I agree
Yeah.
to that, Mr. Pablo.
Hmm. Okay. Good. All right, then that's fine. So yeah, perfect. Good. You also managed, or you said something about talking to the coworker about the problem uh, in a private place. That's a really good idea, right? You would like to make maybe offer her lunch or go to a cafe somewhere else out of the workplace, right? Just a normal situation, probably. Um, go to drink a coffee or two, and then probably ask politely or without any intentions what is going on, and then wait for the coworker's reaction. And if she doesn't want to talk about it, that's fine. It's ultimately her decision if she wants to talk about it or not. If she does, then you can use the active listening approach, right? Just listen to what she has to say, and then be compassionate, and don't interrupt her. Just get her feelings out. It's totally fine. And it also get the impression that she is being listened and also acknowledged by someone that she can trust. Yeah, well done, everyone. Okay, good. As anyone else would like to say anything to the situation? I can also add that in some workplaces offer various programs that might help workers in difficult situations, right? You should know your limits as well. That there might be it might be something more difficult that you cannot just ultimately solve, right? There are some employee assistant programs that can deal with the situation that you can approach, and not only because of her but also because of you, you can get the advice on how to deal with such situations. All right. Okay, any other inputs or comments on this? Okay, then let's move on to the second scenario. Okay, so we do have a manager, that's you, and the rumors that are spreading fast in the workplace. Um, you you can observe that the workers are talking about it. They feel at risk. Yeah, so let's talk about the emotional cues that you can see as a manager among the co-workers. Um, Maybe Hannah, can you tell us something about this scenario? What you have
Sure,
there?
sure, sure. So there has been a rumor going around the company we are working at will have a change in ownership, and that there's a possibility of downsizing as the new owners are considering it. The downsizing, rumor has it, might lead to some staff losing their job. As I assess the situation, the rumor causes some worry or even anxiety to my coworkers, and it has been resulting to lesser productivity. It also affects the employee's self confidence and morale. As a manager, I have the responsibility to ensure the welfare of my employees. First thing that I am going to do is I am going to confirm this issue first with the management knowledgeable about this matter. Whether it is true or not, as it involves a lot of employees, I would like to arrange a meeting with everyone concerned and talk it out to them, communicate with them. I would like to make them feel that as their leader, I understand how they feel and that they are being listened. So if the rumor is true, if it is true that the company will have a change in ownership and a downsizing, I will make sure that anyone who will be dismissed will have enough separation pay and they will not be fired right away. Instead, I will make sure that they will have enough time to land another job before they leave the company. I know that this will not remove the anxiety of the workers, but I hope it will at least reduce its level.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
if the rumor is not true, I would say that I personally confirmed it. It is only a rumor, and they should not believe anything about company matters except those coming from the management. So
Hmm.
my approach is that I solve the situation heads on and not to drag it any longer.
Hmm. Hmm. Good, very good. And what do you think would happen if these emotional cues were not addressed?
it will result in less productivity of the employees, and they will not they cannot work properly.
Mhm.
They could not focus on their job. Yes.
All right, good. Thank you for that, Hannah. That was very good. Yeah, I think you also covered both possibilities that rumors can be truth or misleading. Good, very good. Okay, is Jonalyn there? Jonalyn? Jonalyn's not here. Rosalind? John? You guys there? Ah, okay. All right. And okay, so Melanie, what is your impression about this?
My personal impression about this, because it happens to me. It happens to me in my home workplace. I'm the one actually affected. I'm
Mm,
the one. Uh, there is a retrenchment. They call it retrenchment.
mm,
They will pay us, and
mm,
the company give us notice or memos, and the HR explain us why is the company have a retrenchment, because there is more job that are the same to the others, and that's why they have a retrenchment. The company do, they have a general meeting
mm-hmm,
to the 100 employees, because it's manufacturing implant. They
mm-hmm,
gave us they gave us notice, and the company stays half of the employees, and there is a length of service to be paid for us. um, Actually, my first emotional expressions is I feel sad.
mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
And the security of my family, syempre. Of
mm-hmm,
course, the security of my family, because money is life.
mm,
To be practical, yeah.
mm,
And the company also give us, I think it's 3 months advice. Uh, and they said, uh, if you have your money, you can use it on a business. Yeah, I'll do it in a business to compensate for the everyday life, for the utilities, and
mm-hmm,
my personal emotions do is, I'll take it in a positive way, to give start, and
mm-hmm,
I think, um, it's normal to company to have a retrenchment.
mm-hmm.
In my personal way, I take it a positive, and give me more strength.
Uh-huh.
And also to my coworkers, to my coworkers, we have talk, uh, we have a friendship. You know that the all of us, and I
Stick
think,
together, right? As
yeah,
a
stick
team.
together.
Mm-hmm,
Yes,
mm-hmm.
as a team.
Because in the same
Na
boat. Mm,
there is a better work that God will give us.
mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my personal experience.
All right. Thank
It
you for that.
happened to
Yeah.
me. It happened to me. Yeah,
That's a great input from your personal life and work
yeah,
life as well. And yeah, so I would say that you handled it great, and
yeah. I
you
handle it
get a 3 months
positively. Yeah,
notice. You took
yeah,
it positively. You were open to
yeah,
new challenges, but on the other hand, you were scared and also afraid of
yeah,
losing a job, maybe a little bit anxious.
yeah.
Um, right, let's you stick with your team. We're on the same boat, talking about it. Do you think it has, when once you learn about the situation, um, were you talking about it during work, or do you think it has also decreased your
Yeah,
productivity?
yeah. We talk it once in a while, just only if we have a break time, because
Mm,
it's a production company. it's inappropriate to talk it,
Mm-hmm.
even though the company give us notice. Once in a while, we talk about it. We give strength to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
that's
and it also depends on the external factors, right? So if this happened during like a financial crisis, or
yeah.
before COVID, or during COVID, that there was no place secured, um, that also may have affect your emotional states as well. That you might
Actually, it
be
happens before COVID.
mm,
Before COVID, it
because
happens
of
before
started.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm. Okay. Good. All right. Thank you, Melanie, for that personal
yeah. Thank
experience.
you. Yeah.
Good. Let's get back to the scenario. B and so have you identified any cues, emotional cues? As
Um, yes, sir. The just to cover the emotional cues that showing there in scenario two is the facial expression and body language as well of the staffs, which nervousness, insecurity, and worried about their job.
Okay, good, good. All right. Sophia, how would you deal with the situation as a manager?
Well, as a manager, let me go back to my notes here.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Of course, I have to make sure to conduct team meeting or individual meetings, so that way I can explain to them the direction the organization is heading to, set up a clear goal so they can focus more on their task. This can help them to stay on track despite the ongoing changes. Start by explaining with compassion regarding the new ownership and the business needs. Why is there a need to do the changes? Be transparent as possible, but still encourage a positive mindset. For example, if there's a need to downsize, just explain the benefits that they would still get, like early retirement benefits, recommendation letter for their next employer, and other financial support that the company will still provide for a specific period of time. If this situation, well, that will be my recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
uh,
That's very good. Yeah, so I think that the main thing is to focus on the information that was given to the employees, or whether it's a rumor or not. So you need to confirm or deny the rumors first, right? You need to find out whether it's true. Then you need to provide accurate information to your staff. Yeah, conduct a meeting, as you said, talk about it, talk about potential changes. If the rumors were false, then of course you need to assure your staff that there are no plans for downsizing, and the solution is there. Right. And as well, I agree with you that you need to be honest and transparent. Right. There were changes happening. You should be transparent with your staff about what these changes mean for them, and what they can expect in the coming weeks and months. Right. Yes, that's I really I agree with that, what you said, Sophia. Okay. Do you think that if this issue of these emotional states of workers were not addressed, if you just turn your blind eye on or ignore these emotional cues, what do you think would happen? Yeah, Sophia.
all right. If this situation is not properly assessed or addressed, this can be very disruptive for the employees and lead to feelings of uncertainty, which is impacting to their well-being. And this will result to unproductivity, attendance issues, poor performance, and untimely resignation, which also has a great impact to unhappy customers or unhappy
Mm-hmm,
clients. Like, of course, decrease of unproductivity, high turnover, and unmotivated employees.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, that's really well put there. Yes. So decreased productivity, also negative environment, or in conjunction with customer service and other aspects. And it would definitely have a negative impact on company culture as well. Yeah, because of lack of support, or like lack of communication from management during times of uncertainty. Um, Employees may become distrustful, right? Um, yeah, very good. Okay, is anyone would like to add anything to this situation? Okay, no. Just asking again for John, Rosalind. You guys there?
Yes, sorry about that.
Okay. All right, John. Welcome back.
It's just
Okay.
most of them, like Melanie, BN, and what Sophia just recently mentioned, um, it's definitely something that needs to be addressed by the management, especially if, let's say, we are one of the managers in that company. So I definitely concur with them that uh, all things needs to be explained carefully to the employees. It needs to be addressed whether it's true or not, and then if it's true, they need to be informed very well. What needs to be done, what benefits they could possibly get, and allow them to transition to. It's either they could be transferred to another department if they have the proper skills, or if they can be assisted to other companies if they have other sister companies, or if they have an like a specific, human resource agency or something similar with that. And then you just need to address the people that if these things are not properly handled, well, definitely the rumors would just go on and on, and then just like what they mentioned earlier, a lot of anxieties, a lot of fears. I'm sure everyone has, in their lifetime, has encountered several times how it feels to be personally, think of
Mm-hmm.
getting a job, and then how to secure a job, and then possibly losing a job. So
Mm-hmm.
it really affects not just the performance of the employee, but also their overall health
Mm-hmm.
being, their emotional, their mental state, and then it could really also affect their productivity, and yes, their possible clients of the companies also, and I think also the management would also be affected with that. So things just needs to be handled really well, and
Mm-hmm.
although these things are just really part of life, so probably it's just one of the things that I could say as a manager to my coworkers or to my subordinates,
Mm-hmm.
that there are just some things that we can control and we cannot control. So what I could do is just focus on what I can control, and then we can just from time to time probably spend a few meetings, like probably 30 minutes would do so, just to make sure that everyone's able to express themselves, or
Mm-hmm.
vent out what they want to say, and see where we can go from there. So at least that's what I can see for this second scenario. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very well put then. Fantastic. Thank you for that. I agree with that as well. And yeah, so it's also important what you and also Sophie said, that to keep staff focused, so that they're not underperforming, right? So you need to maintain productivity and encourage them to stay focused on their work, and maybe offer some support and resources to help manage their stress. And it's also important to talk to them, yeah, not just once in a while, but have a regular meetings, keep them updated so they know where they are, what they can expect. Okay, Jonalyn has got some problems with her gadget. Hopefully she'll be back soon. Yeah, okay, let's take a look at the third scenario now, guys. We've got this Mary, right? And she's very critical, right? So again, the emotional cues. Um, First, let's ask Melanie and her personal experience. Have you ever encountered a worker who was very pessimistic, who showed these emotional cues? Have you ever encountered
Um,
this type of person?
yeah, like this in scenario number three.
Mm,
If I am a manager, I will talk to Mary personally in a private place with a cup of tea. Uh, to talk what 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 she do or she does, because and I will remind her duties and responsibilities, uh, what you have to give to the company, and not sabotaging and give bad impressions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I personally, I will give Mary an open-minded, and give her some advice, give her some positive advice or good advice. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think in this scenario, Mary is not happy in her workplace,
Mm-hmm.
because if you're happy or contented in the workplace, you do much better to uh, give uh, your work to the company, and not uh, giving headaches to the manager or
Mm-hmm.
to the owner of the company. Yeah.
Okay. And Melanie, do you think that this can stem from work issues or personal life issues?
I think
Yes.
work issues, because she is making sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
Sabotage work is these work issues, and in a way, he had her has a personal issues also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh,
Okay. All right. Thank you for
that's
that,
my
Melanie.
interpretation, yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you think that could happen if you, as a manager, just ignore this? What do you think that could happen to Mary and to the company, to other workers?
I think the company should give Mary a notice or memo.
Mm-hmm.
uh, if I were the manager, I will give her a memo of notice to termination, because I don't want to have a headache if her the only one who doing sabotage.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you didn't do that, what do you think that could happen?
Uh,
If there's nothing done about it, what do you think that Mary could do in a
uh,
situation?
I
Do you think
think
she'll
the
continue with this, or do you think she can, get into a different emotional state, or she can act differently? What do you think that would happen?
I think her first emotion, he her act differently. He will not expect the company will do that to her
Mm-hmm.
and give her a notice for what her uh, bad things are
Mm-hmm.
doing in the company.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Melanie. I think we've just lost Melanie.
I
Okay.
think, Mr.
Mhm.
Pablo,
Yeah.
if if this is not addressed properly, maybe
Mm-hmm.
Mary will still continue to perform inappropriately
Mm-hmm.
to the project, and the deadline might be affected or not meet,
Mm-hmm.
and her relationship with other coworkers might be affected as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, negatively. Yes. Okay, I agree with that, Bian. Okay. Does anyone come up with any other issues or any other consequences that can have an impact on the employee, the company, and the co-workers? Hannah, are you there?
Yes, I
Okay.
will. Can I have my
Yeah, yeah,
input?
yeah, sure,
Yes.
sure. Talk about it. Just tell us what
So,
you think.
so this is mine.
Mm-hmm.
This involve a specific individual, so my approach is that I will conduct a closed door meeting with Mary. I believe the first step to solving the problem is to find the cause, right? I
Mm-hmm.
personally think that condemning the employee will only put them in a defensive mode, What I will do is that I will offer specific productivity or attitude issue and ask questions to pinpoint the cause of the problem. I should know where her pessimistic attitude is coming from. The issue might be personal. Perhaps Mary is having trouble with a spouse, children, or illness. Other times, it could be an equipment or financial issue or a personality conflict that's affecting her performance. In
Mm,
any case, it is best to approach the conversation from a helpful, not accusatory perspective.
mm, Okay, I agree with that. So, Johanna, you just confirmed that this anger might stem from personal issues, right? So
Yes.
not only work issues, but I
Mhm.
agree with you that it can also have um, the origins in a personal life,
Yes.
and we need to take this into consideration when we're dealing with this. Okay, that's a very good input then. hmm Okay, and Sophia, what do you think about the situation?
Okay, I'll just read mine then.
hmm
So, with that scenario, Mary apparently showed disinterest or disengagement with the project or her work. The emotional cues she has shown are her tardiness, annoyance, excessive criticism, dismissive, cynical, sarcastic behavior, and inattentiveness even to emails. She has shown a totally negative, unprofessional behavior towards her colleagues and her work. As a manager, it is important to listen. Hear out what's her problem. It might be some attitude problem or it might be some personal issues. It might be okay. The issue is personal or the work itself.
hmm
So yes, set a time for Mary to talk to her. Set a time for to talk to Mary exclusively, and give her your clear behavioral feedback. This approach will lower Mary's defensiveness. But of course, as a manager, you have to be consistent and lead by example. So, because apparently she's undermining the manager by not listening or doing her task.
hmm
So I think there's something wrong also with the manager's behavior. It might be. So you have to really lead by. I mean, whatever you're going to be telling her, make sure you do it.
hmm
You do it also as a manager. And of course, explain to set consequences also. If things don't change, explain to Mary, work through the company's process like an intervention from HR.
hmm
As a
hmm
manager, give clear directions or instructions what are the tasks and how she's expected to execute it and collaborate with the team. If there is no disciplinary action tied to her poor attitude or her poor performance, then Mary will take advantage of your leniency. So it will also decrease her productivity that will impact the whole team and also the company's credibility.
Okay, I think you put it very objectively and
Yes.
also introduce another point of view that also manager might be responsible for her behavior. Um, that's very good. Okay. hmm And he also described the issues or if the issues were not addressed pretty well. Yeah, so it's important to speak with Mary, yeah, to find out what causes her to be less sociable and less talkative. She may be afraid to, to approach you as a manager and ask for help. So it's your responsibility. It's actually your duty as a manager to help your coworkers to feel safe and in harmony. Okay, right. Very good. I think that's all covered. John, are you still there? Is there anything you would like to add to this?
Yes, Pavel. Sorry.
hmm hmm
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I think most of it was already mentioned. But it's okay. I think I could just probably add
hmm
when it comes to responding to the emotional state. Well, of course, getting to know the at least the main reason why Mary behaves in a certain way. But definitely, I won't really or we can't really tell what's really actually bothering her or what's the main reason. But it can be possibly also with regards to anger management issues, or it can be a personal. personality disorder, if there's anything that she isn't like, there's if there's really nothing wrong with her colleagues and with the management, the company, and everything, then it can be something deeper. I mean, when it comes to psychology, I mean, it's somehow connected to a personality disorder. But then again, we won't judge her personality right away. So needs to do a lot of counseling, a lot of mediation, and
Mm-hmm.
then see if she really has been having this personality ever since she's been working with the company, or also when it comes to her previous jobs, if there's any. That's all. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well done, John. That's a great input from you as well. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, I also would add that if this emotional state of Mary was not addressed, and this could lead to even more serious things like could be conflicts in the workplace. Yeah, co-workers. This can lead to a even worse, in a worst case scenario. Uh, this problem, the problem was not solved, then uh, Mary would probably lose her job, and also she might hurt herself. Yeah, in the worst case scenario, commit suicide, or anything that you know it has happened many times, and it's very important that managers should observe their workplace and their workers, and also address all the issues, because if they are not handled the right way or not at all, this can lead to even the worst case scenarios. Okay, good. All right. Thank you all for your input. That was a fantastic collaboration and discussion. Thank you, Melanie. Yeah, sorry that
Pabel,
you
sorry
got
for what
disconnected.
happened. So sorry for everyone,
No, that's
because
okay.
it's our first day in this new house, and the internet connection is just only for a temporary.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's all
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Sorry,
That's all
sorry
right,
for what
Melanie.
happened. Yeah,
Don't
I'm
worry.
so bothered and sad.
This can
Yeah,
also happen to
yeah.
to anyone, who's been living in the place for so many
Yeah,
years.
because yeah, we're moving out. Just only temporary connection.
That's so good.
Sorry.
Yeah, it happened to me. It happened to me as well. I
Uh,
just got disconnected. I couldn't teach,
uh,
and my students were asking me where I was, and difficult to explain. And okay, no worries. That's all good.
thank you
Uh,
for that.
yeah, not
I
a
feel
problem.
bothered and sad.
All good. Don't
Okay,
worry.
okay. Thank you.
Okay,